But the camaraderie, the celebration, the wins, all those things have been so dramatic that I cannot tell you how valuable that could be for you and your company. One of the big things we started when everything was shut down, there were things we couldn't do. And getting together was the number one. I mean, there are still places all over that aren't able to do this right now, or they work remote full time, and this is their business strategy. Here's what we learned. Every Monday, having a centering, a focus, a culture building conversation around connection. The ability to bring everybody together, whether that's in person or via Zoom, whatever it may be, but a video conferencing, an in-person meeting where for 30 minutes, all we do is talk about what happened over the weekend. What did everybody do? Water cooler talk, if you will. You know, forced water cooler talk to some extent, but water cooler talk. And here's what I've seen. I've seen us grow together in ways that we could never have been connected. We've learned about family histories. We've laughed about in-laws. We've laughed about, the dogs and the puppies and things that have happened that have nothing to do with our day-to-day jobs. But it has everything to do with our day-to-day jobs because it gives us a glimpse of the person, the teammate, the individual outside of work that we work with every day. What are the things that are most important to that person? What are the things every weekend that they talk about? Maybe one person loves horses and they spend a ton of time outside. If you know what someone loves, you can connect with them in a different capacity. Maybe someone has a new pet at home. Maybe you also have been through that. Maybe you love animals. I don't know what it is, but those connections have allowed our team members to connect in different ways. Different team members that might think they have nothing in common with someone else have everything in common. Maybe outside is providing the inside stability and infrastructure that we actually needed. And so every Monday from 9 to 9:30, we have an all hands on deck conversation about what happened. And there's been a couple of Mondays I wasn't present to lead it, and some of our other team members have led it, which has given other people the chance to really stand up and stand out and learn a new role. And we have some really, really good people in this company. We have some really, really great leaders. And when you can see that in a different capacity, just talking about things you did over the weekend, it's a great glimpse into some of the things that I think will be very valuable for all of us as we move into the next year. So, that also had us think about some other things. We felt so disconnected for so long, and every day felt like a week, and every week felt like a month, and every month felt like a year. And that's really, really what it felt like. And so maybe you'd go 3 to 5 days without talking to somebody, so we had to find another solution. Another solution was, what were the biggest wins? What were the biggest challenges? Aha moments, maybe. What were the biggest wins and what were the biggest challenges? And so every Friday from 9 to 9:30, we do the same thing. This time, it's not so much about what happened over the weekend, about the personal side, it's about the professional side. What were the things we won at in the week? How did we win together? What were teammates doing that really made a difference this week? Who stood out to you? How did they stand out? What were the things that really made a difference? What do you feel most proud about? These are some of the things that we focused on. These are some of the things that we really took the time to dive into. And then we focused on challenges. Challenges are the part that's probably the most difficult aspect of this conversation. It's only 30 minutes, but it is the first thing, it's one of the first things at least that we're doing in the morning on a Friday. So we're initiating the conversation around the big wins, we're celebrating each other, and then we go into some of the things that we can help each other with. That's extremely crucial because, again, personal on Mondays, professional on Fridays. That allows us to really dive deep into some of the things that maybe team members could work better together. Maybe there's someone on the team that you don't know has experience in the exact problem that you had that now you do. Today, we actually had a conversation where one of our team members said, hey, I picked up the phone and called this person because they had 20 years experience working at this company, and that changed everything. It took a 2-hour job and made it a 30-minute job for me. Just knowing that about that person allowed them to get the job done quicker. So the challenges aspect, I really, really encourage you to get the team to share, but that's something that regardless of the situation, we'll be continuing moving in to the next year. That's something as well that I've gotten really great feedback on, not the challenges part, but the actual process of personal Mondays, professional Fridays, 30 minutes, it's 1 hour a week total. That's it. But the camaraderie, the celebration, the wins, all those things have been so dramatic that I cannot tell you how valuable that could be for you and your company. The other thing that I think is crucial is connection. All right, in a year where you feel less connected with people, in a year where isolation has been something that has been normal, connection is something that's so valuable, and taking the time to pick up the phone and call someone, taking the time to Zoom in on somebody, to FaceTime somebody, to reach out to someone that you normally would have texted or sent a quick instant message to, right now matters even more. In my opinion, it always matters. One of my biggest frustrations at work is when someone texts something that I think should be a phone conversation, or when someone tries to get something done so quickly that we ignore the fact that the human connection matters, that you might have gained more to the story, more valuable information for us to be successful if we just talk to them. Well, this year, the inability to be in person as much has given people more of a need to reach out and touch someone, as AT&T used to say. And I think picking up the phone or zooming in on somebody has been a really valuable benefit. Even video, using video to have conversations, apps that are out there that might be valuable for your team to be able to have a conversation via video where you can actually communicate. I know there are several, I won't mention them because they'll be outdated and hopefully this video won't be, but just ways for you to be better connected is something that I will take the valued lessons learned last year and implement moving into the next year. So as we talk about the wins, the wins of the year, the things we learned and how we're going to implement them into the next year, I really am excited that I was able to pivot in ways that brought our team closer together. Here's some unintended valuable tidbits that came out of that. Just this morning, our entire team was having a conversation about health. They've created a board, and I don't know what they're calling it, but it's an accountability board, and the majority of the team members have actually put individual health goals on the board, and they've decided to be accountable to each other. They've decided to put it up and share it to each other and with each other. They've decided to have 2 accountability partners, one each, that actually holds them to their goals. Why does this matter? Again, it goes back to the foundation, the core, the infrastructure of the human behind the job. If you have healthy habits, if you're taking a priority on your health, if you're focusing on who you are health-wise, you're probably going to perform better. Less brain fog, less uncomfortability. You're going to feel better, work better. That's a really, really common thought, but it's true. Healthy people perform better, clearer, with a level that exceeds what they ever dreamed they could do when they weren't as healthy. So there are all different levels of health changes. And I'm not saying that one or another is better than the other, but I can tell you that a healthy company, healthy humans, healthy teams all work together in great ways. And the unintended consequences of having these personal conversations have allowed people to feel so comfortable with each other that they're sharing their innermost health goals. And I can tell you that's not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing, especially if you have some of those. I know I have some. And so everybody's put it on the board and put it out there, and we'll fail or we'll win together as a team. Again, all around culture building, all around pivots that came about because of what we were forced to do in the previous year. So as you move into the next year, I really encourage you to do some deep dives on what really worked. What were some of the things that really changed your culture for the benefit? If you're one of the employees, what were some of the things your business did that stood out? Have you taken the time to tell the people in charge? Have you taken the time to tell your boss, hey, that's awesome? I mean, we've had people that have thanked us for actually just having a career and a job because so many people were challenged last year in that capacity. Those things of just taking the time to look back on what worked and how you're going to continue it in the next year are so valuable to our companies. Don't hide it. Don't keep it a secret. Share it. Share it with me below. What were the things you did that really stood out? What were the things that made the biggest difference that you had no clue would impact you and your company so well? We're going to dive deeper on this topic in the future because it can go a lot bigger, a lot better than just what we've started the conversation on today. But I hope these couple of ideas stand out as something that either you can maybe utilize or maybe we can just learn together on them. I know I have been humbled to learn so much from the pivots we took. I'm Scott Danner. Thanks for joining me.